Hi, my name is Yushazwan binti Hajwari, 263903.
My name is Johnny Samuel Chun Rodriguez, 252775.
So, our project title is Spanish Malay Mobile Guide for Traveler. So, purpose of requirement analysis. Requirement analysis is the process of determining user expectation for new or modified product which is previous product. This feature, called requirements, must be quantifiable, relevant, and detailed. So, the purpose of requirement analysis is to determine the information related to certain fields which can guide research to design and develop the mobile application for users who often call for traveling. Design the model application with the purpose to help those travelers who face difficulties situation. So next is data gathering for requirement analysis, which is have two types. First is primary data gathering, secondary data gathering. So for the primary data gathering, we have online interview and questionnaires. For the secondary data gathering is content analysis and competitive analysis review. So the next one is online interview.
Okay, for the online interview, the method was first, contact the client with the online interview, qualitative. So the online interview was released to the Mr. Neo Chao Sen. He's a representative of the Embassy of Venezuela, and he's been working in international business since the last 10 years. The interview consists of three parts. Part one, information about the expert. Part two, questions regarding the difficulties may be faced. And part three, user interface requirements for mobile application. So the first part consists of 2 questions. The second part consists of 8 questions. And the third part is of 4 questions. Okay.
Next question.
The questionnaire. Okay.
Yeah.
So the question construct using Google Form. Respondents who are often traveling. There are 45 respondents involved. The questionnaire was distributed by email and WhatsApp. The questionnaire have divided into 3 sections. Section 1, demographic. Section 2, experience of respondents. And section 3, the suitable elements of a mobile application. This is section 1. So we have first the gender, male and female. The second question will be the age. Third will be the nationality. We include Malaysian, European, and others. Okay, for section 2, so we have the first question is, do you ever travel? How many times do you travel overseas before? Number 3, do you think it's easy to get help while you're traveling? 4, do you have problem to communicate with the locals while you're traveling? Okay, regarding section 3, the first question, what is about the operating system? What operating system do you think is more suitable for the mobile application? The second question, what feature in an application are important when you travel? Number 3, have you ever used a traveling app before? 4, what kind of interface do you consider after installing a certain application? And the fifth question, in your opinion, what basic information might be appropriate to include in a mobile application? Okay. Okay, number 6, it is necessary to attach pictures together with the information. What useful trees will be included? Number 8, what do you think of the basic communication methods for interaction need to be used? And what font do you consider is more appropriate for mobile app? Okay, the last question is about the background. What background do you consider is better? And we allow the option to suggest for the participants. So if they want to comment or suggest something else, they can do it. Okay. Okay. For the procedures, we have first identified the client. Our client will be the Embassy of Venezuela. And the person who work directly with him will be Mr. Neo Charles N. He's been working international affairs for the last 10 years, and he's been working between the Malaysian government and the Venezuelan governments over the last 11 years. So the preparation for the online interview and questionnaire, the first step was prepare appropriate to the respondents early before conduct the online interview. In the online session, the client answered all the interview that had been provided by the interviewer, based on that client experience travel all over the world. Preparation and checklist for the data collection. The online interview session was conducted on March 13, 2020, on Monday. Regarding to the difficulties of the client is facing right now because of the coronavirus issue, during the interview, the client answered all the questions without any hesitation. During the interview, the client shared his own experience and he suggests some tips, especially to be included for keep the travel and the traveler safe. Okay. Okay, for the secondary data gathering, we need to compare in the existing mobile applications. So with these mobile applications exist in the market right now, we compare some of the features. The useful of the content, the require internet, the clear and clean information, give basic communication interaction for talk with the locals in difficult situations, and the multiple language. So in most of them, useful content, of course, yes. In require internet, just one of them require. The clear and clean information, most of them have it, yes. And for the basic interaction with communicate with the locals, no, any of them have it. So our application will include it. And the multiple language, also the same case. Most of them, they didn't include it. So our application will include it, okay? Okay, so here we have the certain applications like Tourist Guide Malaysia, XTBT, Travel Malaysia. Okay, these two apps are basically traveling apps. This app is used for the travelers who wants to come to Malaysia. It shows detailed information, show the maps, useful tips. The rating is 4.9, it's in English, consider text and graphics. The size of the app is 5.2 megabytes. Okay, so here, XTB Malaysia is a travel to allow you to find activities around Malaysia. It's very useful for the visitors who doesn't have any idea what to do in Malaysia. So the rating is 4.8, it's in English, include text, video, and graphics. And the size is 26 megabytes. Okay, for the mobile applications who are especially in the South America case, we have South America Travel Guide and a Spanish Guide with me. So the first one is get comprehensive information of 1,000 travel destinations in South America. It's a really useful travel if you don't know what to do in South America, allow you to know what information, history, culture, hotels, bars, restaurant, nightlife. And the good about this application is doesn't require internet. Has a 4.4 over 5 in the ratings, is in English, and the graphic and the size is 22 megabytes. For the Spain with me, it's basically focused on Spain. The same, what to do in Spain, what activities, is offline also, but most of the content is blocked because you need to pay if you want the special content. So include a map of the subway, what to do in the city. The reason of this rating 3.9 is because of you need to pay for the application. It's in English, contains graphics, text, and video. and the size is 33 megabytes. Okay, for the data analysis, we have two main phases. First, the interview with the client. Okay, during the interview with the client, basically, the client commented about all the main worries for the travelers. He's been working in the security for the travelers since the past years. So especially at the moment to travel to South America or Malaysia. He's been in South America and Malaysia, and he especially recommend is warn the travelers about the safety and the language and some advice of what to include inside the mobile application. The second one is using the data collected from the survey. And at the moment of the situation, we use Google Form for collect all the information of the participants. In total, were 45. And the participants consist in Spanish speakers and Malay speakers. Okay. For the survey was divided in three sections: demographic, experience, and suitable elements. So first, let's start with section one, demographic. Most of our participants who answered were female with 53% and male with 47%. About the age, most of them, they were around 23 to 27 years old, following for 18 to 22 years old. After that, we have almost the same time, okay? Here, 47, 77, and 17, and 15, okay? For the nationality, we have most of our respondents, they were from Venezuela, following for Malaysian and Europeans. And the other groups are 2 and 2%. It will come with Chilean, Cuban, Brazilian, Equatorial Guinea. Okay. Okay, for the section two, the experience of the respondent. Do you ever travel? Most of our participants say yes, 98%. For the next one, how many times did you travel overseas before? Most of them around 1 to 4 times. Following for 5 to 9. So most of our participants, they travel before overseas. Okay. Okay. For the question number 3, do you think it's easy to get help while you travel? Most of our participants stay neutral at the moment to answer this question. For the rest of them, they consider very difficult or difficult. Just some of them says easy. Okay, for question number 4, do you have a problem communicating with the locals while you're traveling? Yes, most of our participants answer difficult and very difficult. So yes, this is a problem. Okay, for the section 3, suitable elements of a mobile application. The first one, what operating system do you think is more suitable for a mobile application? Most of our participants answer both of Android. Okay. Okay. So number 2? What features in application are important at the moment to travel? Most of our participants answer this for help to communicate with the locals, place of interest, map tour, and GPS. Okay, for question 3, have you used mobile apps before? For most of our participants, they use them all the time. Some of them, around 22%, they never used them before. So, okay. So for the question for what kind of interface do you consider after installing certain mobile applications? Show animation, 53%, go direct to the main menu, 44%, and just 2%, and it's a really useful suggestion, a nice welcome, and then the UI per se. Okay? In your opinion, what basic things are appropriate to include in a translation mobile application? Basic greetings, ask for directions, food, emergency cases, hotels, shopping malls, historical places, summary of the country. So with the most important, the people highlight hotels. Okay. Okay, for question number 6, it is necessary to attach pictures together with the information. 7% they say no, but most of our respondents, 93%, they answer yes. For the question A, what do you think of the basic communication method for interaction need to be used? Not all of them show animation, but text, voice, okay? And the most chosen was both with 36. Okay? Next one. In the case of useful tips, what should be included? The preparation, precautions, health, and to do and not to do with the most chosen. Okay? Next one. What font do you consider more appropriate for a mobile guide? Okay, most of our respondents answer Arial for 58%. Okay? And for what background color do you consider better? Most of our respondents, they said blue with 67%. Okay?
For the functional requirement, we have 10, which is SMNG, short form from our title project. So we have first is select menu, and second is choose places, 3 get help, 4 get direction, 5 safety tips, 6 setting, and number 7 exit. So which is select menu, the user shall choose menu, which is the priority or mandatory. So the second one, the user can choose place button to start the application is mandatory. The user can choose exit button to leave the application is also mandatory. If not have the exit and place the button, the user can do not know no idea how to use this application. So the second one is choose places. The user shall select the place that they are interested in. It is mandatory. So for the get help, the user shall select the information. It is desired because of not necessarily the system can handle the get help part. So the get direction is the user turns on GPS on smartphone. Yes, it is mandatory because of the get direction have to use the GPS. So for the safety tips, the user can set the place they like. It is desired. And for the setting, the user shall fix the notification sound. It is mandatory because the system can handle it. So for the exit, the user shall leave the application after click on exit button. So that's in mandatory too. So for the non-functional requirement is we have 13 section. Okay, first one is performance. We have decided to handle this system. This mobile application is mandatory. Not take more than 5 seconds to load the initial screen after the user open the application, and the application should not be a hindrance to the user input. So that's two is mandatory. So the system can handle it. So for user interface, the user interface shall be clear and compatible fit with the mobile screen, and the navigation of application shall be organized so that the interface on the mobile application will help the user. So that one user interface for clarity is mandatory. The third is usability, which is user be able to understand the flow of the application without any training or help from the expert. Yeah, for this usability is mandatory, which is user can use this mobile application without any manuals. Okay. For the reliability is the application always works smoothly and correctly to deliver the desired result to the user. It is also mandatory. And for the availability, the application run on Android mobile phone, and the game shall available offline at any places. So for the application runs Android mobile is mandatory, and shall available offline is a desired. So for the maintainability, the coding easy to maintain. It is priority on mandatory. So next is use case model. which is user is the use the mobile application. We have six activity, which is select menu, choose places, get help, safety tips, setting, and exit. So for the conclusion, for our conclusion is build a mobile guide for traveler require a lot of information and data collection especially. To review of to the review of other apps is very useful in order to know what are the features we can make different use app of others, and review the functional requirements in order to see if the apps need to include something else or need to some adjustment. And the last one, use the data collected during the interview and survey section and implement this data as well as possible to achieve the best product. So that's all. Thank you.